What is up? What is up, YouTube? How y'all doing? Did I do? No, we didn't do this. I'm doing so many reactions, man. I clicked on this and said, no, I want to do this. And I clicked on that. Yeah. Oh, my gracious, man. Y'all hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell. Tisha Tales. Check this. Jonathan Audi breaks silence. Uh-oh. Y'all know this is the guy that went into the Trump hotel and did all this crazy stuff. And then when he got caught, he started talking about some weird stuff like Diddy did this, Rick Ross was gay, and DJ Khaled is gay, and all this stuff he was talking. Come find out this man has been in jail all this time. What? He been in jail all this time waiting for a hearing that never came. Every time the hearing come, something happens. Every time he's supposed to go to court, something happens. Why is all this happening, man? Oh my God, come on, are you serious? Our court system, man, y'all better get this thing together, man. Y'all better get this thing together. Look here, man, y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Let's check out Tisha Tales, man. This is over an hour. Let's check it out, here we go.
Hey, what's up? Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing, you guys? This is a groundbreaking day.
Wow.
Jonathan Audi has confirmed all the rumors. If you guys don't know who Jonathan Audi is, baby, we got the NDA. The ex-wife is spilling too. We're going to get into all of it. But if you guys don't know who Jonathan Audi actually is, he was Diddy's rumored smash slave. Now, who was the one that started that rumor? Baby, it was me. You guys know if you've been coming to my channel for a while, I have had exclusives when it comes to Sean Diddy case. We've had exclusive on what's going on. We were the very first one to break this case about Jonathan Audi and how back in 2014, he told the truth about what was going on with Diddy, what was going on with Rick Ross, what was going on with DJ Khaled, and what was going on with Cassie. We were the first ones to dig up his actual police interrogation where he literally told us about the freak-offs in 2014. We were also the first to break that there was a death hoax involving Jonathan Audi. It couldn't come from Jonathan Audi, but many people said it either came from Diddy's team or it came from the feds. Now, I'm not going to lie. We were dragged all up and down YouTube by dummies that had no critical thinking sense. They called us liars. They called us this. They called us that. Guess what? The feds have confirmed. Major news outlets have confirmed. And we have gotten our hands on the NDA that Diddy paid Jonathan Audi a few $1 million to keep quiet because he knew everything, including the fact that Jonathan Audi said that Diddy paid him off because Diddy gave him the herp and a few other things. And while they were having the freak-offs, Diddy would do business. This implicates Mark Garagos, Diddy's current lawyer. This implicates 𝗗𝗢𝗡𝗞𝗦. It definitely implicates Diddy, Rick Ross, and Khaled. We have all the evidence. We have all the receipts, and we are about to get into this live. You guys, buckle up. This is crazy. Listen, this is crazy.
Yeah,
where do we start? Hold on, y'all.
I could not believe what my man was saying back in the day. He was like, and the police officer was looking at him like, what does this got to do with all the stuff you did?
In here?
Yeah. And then he started saying Rick Ross, DJ Khaled, they all gay. I was a sex slave for them.
Okay.
I'm like,
so
what?
This is live.
Damn.
Also, if you guys don't know, I'm going to be releasing all the lives and the deep research we did about Diddy and Jonathan Audi. It goes deep. Law enforcement, dancing bear. The rabbit hole just keeps getting deeper and deeper. I do want to say that we broke this story before mainstream media had the courage to touch it. And the funny thing is, when we broke the story, baby, we dropped receipts. It was easily researchable. You could have easily just taken my research and done stuff. Again, why am I saying this? Because you guys, I'm going to be covering the Sean Diddy trial, and I'm going to be going where mainstream media is afraid to go. I understand rumors. I understand conspiracy theories. But when somebody actually brings you God honest evidence, court docs from the district attorney, NDAs, releases, the fact that mainstream media wouldn't touch this, I'll tell you one thing. Jonathan Audi, looking back on that interview, kind of explains why Diddy wanted Trump to pardon him. Now, for y'all saying Trump, the president can't give pardons and Trump would never pardon Diddy. Well, that part might be true. But as far as the president can't give pardons, Trump just pardoned Eric Adams. That's Diddy's buddy. Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, Trump just pardoned him on all charges. Diddy was hoping and praying that he could get a pardon from Donald Trump. Okay? Hoping and praying. However, in this interview, I'm going to play you because I feel like a lot of people missed over that part. It explains why Diddy was not even able to secure a pardon from Trump. Why? Because Mark Geragos, according to Jonathan Oddi, and he heard this during a freak off, and this has been confirmed. Mark Geragos, sorry, I just got more information in. Mark Geragos was the person, if you guys know, that just joined Diddy's team. He has been afraid to actually join as an official lawyer. He has been a consultant. Part of it is they're saying he is trying to get around the gag order. The other part of the matter is, and this is like the little scary part, he has a history with Trump. Jonathan Oddi said during the freak off, Ben Masalas, Mark Geragos, they weren't in the freak offs, but Diddy was on the phone with them in some capacity. And they were doing a concerted effort to take Trump down during his first term. He is saying that they actually put money behind Stormy Daniels to try to take Trump down. Now, back then it seemed pretty far-fetched, but ask yourself, how would he know about Mark Geragos? How would he know about Ben Masalas? How would he know about what they were doing behind the scenes? Because this has been confirmed by many political things. How would they know that? Why would Diddy sign an NDA? And we have the NDA. We're going to show it to you. Why would Diddy sign an NDA with a SMEX worker who he's never met? This NDA has been confirmed and 100% has Diddy's thing on it. Let's also not forget that this man was dead broke. He had a negative $1,800 in his bank account. The day after he settled with Diddy, he went on a buying spree of buying 4 or 5 properties at a time. He blew through millions of dollars buying up property in the South Florida area. On top of that, there is an REC, that is a property development firm that Jonathan Oddi wanted to establish and he talked about many times. Diddy has REC also that he invested $2 million into that fund. Now, where is Jonathan Oddi right now? We have a little information about that too. Jonathan Oddi, people are saying, is a confidential federal witness. I was the first one to float that. Why? Because he has been in jail since May 21st, 2018. It is 2025. He is not mentally insane. He is fit. And every time he may or may not show up in court, most of the time he doesn't. And the trial just keeps getting kicked down. That is saying that you are a confidential informant. You are in witness protection in some way or form. It is not normal, nor is it constitutional, nor is it anything that a person that is fit to stand trial has not stood trial and nothing has come to trial in the last, what are we going on now? 2018 is 2000. In the last 7 years, no. Listen, we're about to break down this Jonathan Oddi stuff. We have the NDA. We're going to get into it. All right. First and foremost, let's get into the Jonathan Oddi NDA. Again, this is for
cook 'em, baby, cook 'em.
All the haters on YouTube that said I was lying. That said I was making up stuff.
Baby.
That said I literally put up a fake thing, even though they were too stupid to actually click on the video and see what I said. Please let me do my victory lap. They were too dumb to literally click on my video and see how I decoded the Jonathan Oddi, deconstructed the Jonathan Oddi death hoax. And the whole question is, dummies, not y'all, the dummies in the back. Y'all know right? The whole thing is, it's not the fact that a death hoax came up.
Right.
Once
Come on
I
now.
released this information and when it was starting to go viral, it's a fact of who would have a vested interest in doing that? Who would have a vested interest? But again, baby, we are here for critical thinking skills. If you love critical thinking, please come up to the front because we are about to break this all the way down. Okay, so with no further ado, let me refresh you on who Jonathan Oddi is, give you a quick thing, and then we are going to get into the NDA, and then we are going to get into all the other stuff. And during the day, I am going to be releasing a lot of my oldie but goodies investigations because, baby, they still stand the test of time. And now that the mainstream media The feds have already got behind this, baby. But now that the mainstream media is finally touching the research that we broke, that we did, well, baby, now maybe for the naysayers, people can feel comfortable coming out and actually joining this investigation to find out what is going on. People are saying that Jonathan Audi, if he does not testify, his knowledge of the information he gave the feds, okay, that knowledge the feds use to help build the Miami portion of the Diddy's case. I know, you guys, it's a lot. So let's get into this, okay? Let's get into this. Let's see, where am I at? Hi, everybody. Okay, first, let's go into the Jonathan Audi video, okay? If you guys don't know,
it's crazy, man. Y'all seen this?
Jonathan Audi, okay? This is Jonathan Audi. He's right here in the left-hand corner. This is where he first came on our radar. This is the surveillance tape from when he was in the Trump Dura, okay, where he bought a bang bang and everything went amok. The interesting thing that was the first thing that literally got on our radar is the fact that he wasn't trying to injure civilians. He wasn't trying, I'm going to play this in a second. He wasn't trying to injure civilians. He wasn't trying to hurt civilians. He actually told all the civilians to leave the lobby, literally did bang bang, said everybody get out. They ran. On top of that, he told the front desk people before they left to call the police because he had it in for the police. Why is that? Because the dancing bear, we were the first to expose the dancing bear. We were the first ones to uncover the escort agency that Diddy uses in New York City, okay? Some of those escorts, watch out for them in trial. However, when it comes to the dancing bear, that is where Cassie and Diddy would hire Jonathan Audi. He had about 15 encounters with Diddy. He was the fave and he heard a lot. Again, he had a thing for the police. Let's not forget, in the investigation, I'll put up the lives later, the police in Miami-Dade County actually had a burner account that they used to also book things with the dancing bear to hire escorts like Jonathan Audi and his friend Caesar, who also was convicted on a count of domestic terrorism. Again, how many murderers or attempted murder can come out of one escort agency? The police are deep in this. This goes into what people said about the fact that Diddy has police covering up his crimes, or at least the police on payroll. Again, all will be revealed. I know I'm getting excited. All right, let's first of all get into, this is actual footage from Jonathan Audi when he was in there and trying to set up an ambush for the police. Look at this.
Falling and everything. Look like a joke, man. Hold up, man. Look like a joke. Oh my God.
So right here is the police outside. Again, he cleared the hotel of civilians. Civilians were not his target. He had an issue with the police. There he is right now running outside, right? He is running outside.
Story. Bad news. Because it's embarrassing. That's why he's going crazy with that. It's not that he's lying to the American people. He's embarrassed about Stormy's situation, okay?
So you don't have
family in the United States?
Yeah.
Just my dog Bubbles. My
dog?
Yeah. Diddy and Ross, which they're good buddies, okay? Mm-hmm. They're gay.
Who?
Both.
He's talking about Diddy and Ross.
Diddy and Ross and Khaled. They're all gay. Okay?
DJ Khaled, Rick Ross,
yeah.
and P. Diddy?
Yeah.
They all gay?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Khaled is a Hamas supporter. Okay.
They all gay?
Hamas.
Got you.
Hamas. Yeah.
Sorry, I said it wrong.
No worries.
Hamas supporter. Okay.
Right.
I had sex with Cassie and Sean Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot.
Well, hidden in plain sight.
It's hidden.
I think I see what you're saying.
Okay, how do I know this?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you know this?
Do you know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy?
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call himself these days. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of what's called.
Okay, you guys. So this has been on FDL Special Agent Interrogation, Jonathan Oddi Trump Darrell shooter. This has been on world police sites for real world police for the last 5 years. It has been on their YouTube channel, Instagram channel. What do? It is a Patreon. I got it off their Patreon. It's a Patreon that the police actually use where they show interrogation videos to each other. Okay. Why was this important? Not because of the Diddy. Okay. This is what happens when he banged up Trump's Darrell, right? He banged up Trump Darrell. At that point, people thought that maybe it was like a wayward assassination attempt on the press or this and that. Even as you see, when they got to the interrogation part, and I'm going to play it in full, but I just want to get to the NDA first. When they got to the interrogation part, they thought that he was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and he was trying to put them down on game about Diddy, the rug trafficking. Don't forget that the feds grounded his private flight. They were trying to take this investigation overseas. That's why Diddy, people are saying, literally was trying to rush this because they didn't want this investigation overseas. Sex trafficking is one thing, and international rug trafficking is completely different. Okay, now I'm about to show you guys the NDA. I wish I put my watermark on it. I know the same haters that said I was lie is going to come back and steal my ish and try to make a story out of it. But you know what? You're welcome. Believe me, baby. Believe me, sweetie. I got enough to feed the greedy. All right, believe me, sweetie. I got enough to feed the needy, right? There's more, right? So anyway, you're welcome. You're welcome. But all jokes aside, okay, let me stop joking, right? Because you guys, it's a full circle moment. And I love the fact that all the research we put in, you guys, all the ways we saw through the stupid, dumb, like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs conspiracy theories and actually chased a real story and found real evidence. Again, this has been up for a while, but nobody made the Diddy thing. Nobody made the Diddy connection. Nobody made the connection between Diddy, the Dancing Bear, Jonathan Oddi, and Cassie. And back then, this interrogation happened in 2018. However, Jonathan Oddi, as you can see right here, I know he looked like he had a rough paper route, but Jonathan Oddi, as you can see in the thumbnail, this is the 2012, this is the 2012-13 Jonathan Oddi. He was buff.
Okay.
He was swole.
Okay.
He was doing his thing. He had hair. He had muscles. What you see in that interrogation room where he got the grippy socks on and the little hospital gown, that he has the grippy socks and he has the hospital gown, that is Jonathan Oddi after the freak offs and everything took his toll. Okay. That is the Jonathan Oddi that he lost his mind after being used by a rag doll. A lot of people didn't make the connection, even though it is in 2018. He wasn't talking about having freak offs. He was talking about he had freak offs somewhere around 2012, 2013, a few at the latest in 2012, 13, and 14. That is when he had the freak offs, and he was one of Diddy's favored pets. Okay. If you guys want more information, I'll re-upload the lives and do explanations. But again, we found even the escort agencies in New York he used, the ones in, we did full on investigation. Now, one thing that came out in the interrogation was the fact that Jonathan Oddi was alleging that Diddy gave him the herp. Okay. Now, when that happened, a lot of people were very, very skeptical. And again, this is what Jonathan Oddi says. He has an NDA to back it up. We do not have access to Sean Diddy Combs' medical records. We are telling you what was established through confidential settlement, according to the person that actually settled. Now, here's the thing. Jonathan Oddi, one of the ways he was able to get the $4 or $5 million, I'm going to play you where he says that, is the fact that he kept a video of the freak offs. And he said Mark Geragos and Ben Masalis, Mark Geragos negotiated for the return of that tape, and everything, and all the sign off for the health records for about 4.5 million. However, Jonathan Oddi did tell the police he kept a copy of that tape and he would be willing to give it to the police officers if they wanted to pass it along to the DA, because he said that Diddy was moving drugs. Again, the police officer that was interrogating thought he was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and didn't want to give him, didn't want to entertain that line of business. Y'all better be glad I'm not in the police. I would have been there like, whoa. Slow down. You say Cassie and Sean Diddy Combs had you as a sex slave. What? I would have been like, shh, slow down. We got all day, so tell me. So, like, what's Rick Ross's favorite order at Wingstop? So DJ Khaled, like, but when you saw him, was he eating something? Like, what was he saying? Well, he was like, yeah, we the truth. While he was hitting it from the back, I would like to know what is going on. I would have asked him every little question, no matter how petty. I'd have been like, what color underwear does Sean Diddy look on? What's his favorite meal? So when the freakouts are happening, what's the camera look like? I would have been in their business. Y'all already know. Y'all should be glad I don't work for the FBI. Please. But anyway, they thought that Jonathan Oddi was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So he was like, yeah. Let's get into it. Get back to. And it sounded like the rantings of a madman. But how could somebody from 2012 tell us everything the feds have now confirmed? Okay. Now, a lot of people said that there never was a settlement. A lot of people said that, and this has been verified from mainstream media, since some of y'all need somebody in a suit behind a desk to verify something to you, right? This has been confirmed by mainstream media. How is it that an NDA with Diddy's signature that has been verified for truth was actually signed? Jonathan Oddi's ex-wife was a lawyer. She broke her silence. You're going to hear from her later, but let's get in. We got all day, y'all. And don't worry, you know I'm going to repackage this into 1,000,000 10-minute videos if y'all want to listen to my ramblings. But for those, so y'all that want to hear my ramblings drown out the droning, annoying voice of your boss, let's get into it. With no further ado, here is the NDA. Here we go. Confidential settlement agreement. Again, when Jonathan Oddi, let me just put this up here, this is when he was in his heyday. This is when Jonathan Oddi was in his heyday. You got the muscles, you got the face, he looked young and healthy. He was their pet 2012, 2013. However, he claims that Diddy gave him the hurt. And he knew all Diddy's business, okay? Jonathan Oddi on July 9th, 2014, in the state of Florida, the county of Miami-Dade, sworn and subscribed before me on this day, July 2014, by Jonathan Oddi, who was personally known to me and who did not take an oath. We have the notary republic. We blurred that out, but it is a notary republic. We have the seal of the commissioner in the state. This is a confidential settlement agreement. If I draw your attention to the bottom, it says Sean Combs individually and on behalf of Bad Boy Worldwide, Sean John Enterprises, and all affiliated entities and persons, okay, in the state of Florida, sworn and subscribed for to me. Listen. This has been verified by several news organizations that this is the actual NDA that Diddy and Jonathan Oddi signed when Jonathan Oddi sued that man for giving him hurt and for knowing all his business. You guys, this has confirmed this wild conspiracy theory that started on this channel. Let me just say, if you guys are new to my channel, I am going to be talking about the Diddy situation. I am going to be covering the trial. Please lock in, hit that subscribe. Now listen, really quick, we're going to get into Jonathan Oddi's wife's statements. We have that. Y'all are going to hear directly from her. But let me just say this, okay? His ex-wife was a lawyer, okay? And she's not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And she is the one that allegedly helped him with the settlement too. Again, this is an ironclad NDA. It is not, I know the dummies that don't got no critical thinking, that all y'all can do is figure out how to try to pull me down, but y'all can't figure out a way to research and make a story for your life. I know, but it has been confirmed. Okay, mainstream media is picking this up. This has been in the New York Post, the New York Times. This has been in the Daily Mail. This has been confirmed by several media outlets. Now, listen, if you guys don't want to know, if you guys want to know why you should actually subscribe to the channel and follow my Diddy coverage, you guys, I have had exclusive insider information the whole time. We were the first to break the story about Jonathan Oddi. Okay, back then it seemed crazy. The feds don't think it's crazy. Mainstream media don't have. It has been confirmed. We were the first to break the story about Jonathan Oddi. We were the first to expose all of Diddy's escort agencies and his favorite escorts from New York and in Miami. Okay, we were the first to confirm that Diddy was under New York state, local, and federal investigations. Even TMZ came out and said that's not true. We said we know for a fact it is true. We were the first to actually say that New York and New York State and New York local stepped aside because the feds, SDNY, the ones that took down Jeffrey Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, and 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗞𝗦, and Ghislaine Maxwell, with their investigation, they said, you can stand down. We're taking over the investigation. And the state and the local said, okay. We were the first to confirm that they actually stepped in because Diddy's influence on local was too much. We were the first to actually expose Diddy's involvement with Shine in Belize, and the way Belize is a gateway from the cartel mess from Mexico up into the US, and the way that Diddy hoped to leverage, again, that the people were saying that Diddy hoped to leverage, and that's why even though he screwed Shine over, he dumped a lot of money into Shine's campaign, because people were saying that he hoped to leverage Shine's political, if he became prime minister, the way it would be an open gateway, and the Chirac agenda that Jonathan Oddi talked about, and the way they were moving weight through private jets and all this other stuff. We were the first to actually say, and when I don't mean a day before, I mean months for. Cassie's suit dropped in November 2023. In December 2023, we said Diddy's under federal, local, and state investigation. Diddy will be arrested. Diddy is going to be out. We were the first to actually say months before that a federal grand jury will be convened. We got the timestamp on our lives. It wasn't like a day or two, it was months before, that a grand jury will be convened and Diddy is going to be under a grand jury indictment. They got the evidence. We were the first to say that Diddy would be arrested. I know I saw the people in my comments, you said MF and Naya, when has Diddy been arrested? And I was like, are y'all dumb? Not y'all. Y'all, sweet baby. But the people that literally were on other people's channels trolling, not using their brains, and that's the thing, the blind leading the blind, saying, oh, I thought you said he was going to be arrested. And I was like, you guys don't understand how federal investigations go. This could be a year or two, which would have been better for me because, baby, I would have wanted the views. We were the first to say that Diddy is 100% going to be arrested. And get this is even before anybody knew that he was even under investigation. We said he was going to be arrested for SMEX trafficking, RICO, wire fraud, embezzlement. We were the first to say that months in advance. When Diddy finally we were the first to say that Diddy was in New York, harassing, people were saying, shaking hands, kissing babies. This is when he was a free man, harassing witnesses, trying to get people to stay quiet, either by money or force or intimidation. We were the first to break that story. We were the first to break that story where Diddy was out in Los Angeles, literally running up on Brandon after Brandon had been arrested for being his mule. We actually showed that video. We were the first to say that. And by first, months ahead, when Diddy finally did get arrested for the reasons that we said he would be, we were the first to break that there was a tape. There was a tape of what he did to Cassie. When that tape broke, we were the first to say we did an actual emergency live that said, you guys, Diddy is going to try to get the opinion of public people. He's going to try to sway what everybody's saying. And we were the first to say we did an emergency live on Saturday. And we were the first to say that Diddy is going to come out with an apology to Cassie, confessing what he did. We told you when to the hour it was going to drop. We said that we think it's going to drop tonight. We said, but two of Diddy's lawyers have a wedding or a bar mitzvah or something's going on that they can't be there, right? So they don't want it to drop tonight because they can't see what's going on. We were the first to say that We just, on that emergency live, we said it's going to drop. We said what he was going to say. We said the exact order he was going to say it. And we said the exact tone and where he was going to say it. The live's there. Y'all can go check it out. And then at the end of that live on Saturday night, that's when I said, I've gotten word that those lawyers, let me shut up. That's my source calling me. Okay. But let me just finish the sentence.
Funny, man. You go, girl.
We got word that the lawyers were in a bar mitzvah or a wedding or something was going on. And they decided it would be best for everybody to drop it the next day, that Sunday at 11:20. Oh, no, I'm sorry, at 11 a.m. We gave the time to the day, to the minute it was going to drop. Guess what? You know when that apology dropped? It dropped at 11:20 a.m. We said at 11 a.m. Okay, Diddy, you showed me who was boss. You dropped it 20 minutes later. But we also told you the exact thing he was going to say and the exact order he was going to say it. And two line by line of what we said. We also were the first to point out that Bana, that girl that he hung over the balcony, before anybody even knew Bana exists, we said this woman's name starts with a B. He hung her over the balcony, blah, 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 blah. We broke so many stories, and we broke it not even days before, but weeks before. Mainstream media, TikTok, anybody, any of these stories that are going, baby, this was the source. So that said, I know y'all got your favorites, but if you want to lock in with source information, if you want to get legitimate or at least information that won't make you look like one fool over the cuckoo's nest, we're not sitting here making up stories about how we rescued people from Island and Diddy put a bang bang to our head, talking about you better sing B or whatever else cuckoo like people were saying. If you want things that have been vetted to a certain point and more information for you to make up your mind, but you don't look stupid at the office cooler, baby, lock in, hit that subscribe button on this channel.
Baby.
I might tell you a joke, but baby, I'm not going to tell you a lie. And you know, again, baby, the investigation, it shows, the outline shows, the resume shows. So make sure y'all lock in for the Diddy trial because, baby, I have so much more information that I haven't been able to actually share because, again, I will say this, any information I have released, the one thing I'm always concerned about is the fact that it will not jeopardize the federal trial. Whether that is Diddy being found guilty or innocent, anything that we put out legally will not disrupt the way the trial is going. So there is so much information and evidence that I have that I'd like to share with you guys that I couldn't share back then because it would have disrupted the federal investigation and perhaps it would have put Diddy in a way, in a hole that he couldn't climb out of, but he could have used it to actually try to get a mistrial. Baby, you ain't getting free on my watch. We are doing this completely legal. You ain't walking free on my watch, Diddy. Yes, I got your tea. Yes, I know more. Yes, I will wait until it is safe and cleared to actually talk about it. But baby, when I say I got some tea on what's going on in that Diddy trial, I got some tea. So make sure that you guys actually lock in. Okay, now here is, listen. Again, here is the thing. Now, listen, when we get into this NDA, it's very, very interesting because when it gets into the NDA, it's, hey, what's up, Jazzy? Thank you so much for becoming a Tattletale member. Shout out to Jazzy Face V. Thank you for becoming a Tattletale. Also, Mo said, you're the GOAT. Thank you, Mo. Listen, sometimes I gotta toot my own horn. Literally, I know some of y'all are tired of hearing it. But when I say I was dragged circa 2023 and 2024 by everybody that didn't have critical thinking skills, only for every MFing thing I came out and said, y'all know because y'all been right on me, to be not only the truth, but confirmed by mainstream media. Baby, there's a reason I got written up in the Hollywood Reporter. There's a reason I'm in every doc. There's a reason. And it's not just because of this charming smile. I'm just saying, baby, I put my money where my mouth is and I put in that work. I know y'all busy raising your kids, ignoring your boss, looking for a new job. I'm the one that has the time. And this is what y'all give me y'all attention for, to actually do the digging and then come back and tell y'all everything I heard. Okay? Leslie Murray, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you, Leslie. Also, Candace, hey, what's up, mama? Thank you for being a member for my mom. She said, many blessings to you, T. Said, glad I caught her live today. Thank you for all your hard work. You're welcome, mama. And let me just tell y'all something. I'm going to be going live every day, multiple times a day for the Diddy trial. Y'all can turn off Court TV because I think I am a little bit more entertaining. But at the very least, even if you got your faves, because I understand, right? Everybody got their faves. Make sure y'all just check in, because there's going to be information that only comes from this channel. Okay, Face and Truth, thank you so much. Yes, DJ Khaled and Rick Ross, you better count your MFing days. DJ Khaled and Rick Ross, you better count your MFing days. Thank you so much, Face and Truth. I appreciate that so much. Let me just make sure really quick I'm not missing any more super chats, and then we can get into Jonathan Oddi's wife's statements, and then also we are going to get into Jonathan Oddi's wife's statements, and also we're going to get into Allie. What? I missed your super chat. I don't know why I can't put it on the screen. Allie, thank you so much. Allie says, where's the damn chats? Hold on, y'all. Allie says, thank you. Allie says, you stay telling the truth. Thank you so much, Allie. I appreciate that super chat. I don't know why I can't put it on the screen. YouTube is hating on me. Oh, Facing the Truth. Thank you so much again for being a member for 10 months. I really appreciate that. All right, so let's see. Am I missing anybody else? Leslie Murray, thank you so much for the super chat.
So fun.
Fly Girl 517 said, I hope you're feeling better, Tisa. I am. Thank you so much, Fly Girl. Leon, thank you so much from the UK. Also, I'll go to Face and Truth. It's like, you better count your days, DJ Khaled. Candace, thank you so much. Candace, oh my God, I love the blonde. I'm thinking about going blonde this summer. I love the blonde. I will say, y'all are the most good looking people. I don't care. I feel like I got the best people that tune in and watch me. y'all be pulling face, serving everything, literally serving everything. Okay, so let's get into his statements. So here's the funny thing, right? I remember actually saying that when it came time for Jonathan Oddi and what, oh, Allie, thank you. Allie said, you stay telling the truth. I found your super chat. But when it came down to this whole thing about why would he pay out for having herp, remember, I was the first person to actually break. I'm just saying that Diddy was going to bring in a medical specialist that specialized in houses in Virginia, that specialized in herp, that specialized in contagious disease. Okay, it has long been rumored, and a lot of people said, Diddy gonna sue you for what? I'm just showing the NDA that has Diddy and Jonathan Oddi's signature that has been verified by mainstream media as the confidential settlement agreement that Jonathan Oddi said he got $4.5 million because Diddy gave him herp. Now, you can choose to believe Jonathan Oddi. You can choose to believe whether this is true or not. But I don't know. Go argue with like mainstream media. Go argue with the New York Times and New York Post, Daily Mail, the U.S. Sun, and all those other places, right? So the thing is, when you know this actually now exists, and you see this document right now for what it is, okay? It makes you think about the report I said where they wanted a doctor to come in and talk about things. Because here's the thing, right? If somebody sleeps with you and they have herp or even houses in Virginia, that is a federal crime to pass something like that on to somebody. Something you'll either have for the rest of your life or it could actually kill you. That is actually a federal crime. But here's the situation. When you say that you put somebody in danger, there's two ways you can get out of it. One, you can say, listen, I didn't know I had it. So it's unfortunate, but I had no idea. But that can easily be disproven if there are medical records showing that you actually did receive a diagnosis. And even if the doctor never called you, you took the test. So it was up to you to actually find out what the results of those tests were. So if there was a test that confirmed that somebody had houses in Virginia, bodies in DC, right? Houses in Virginia or the herp, that would be easily disproven. Aha. But there's a second line of defense you can have against this federal crime. The second line of defense is saying, listen, I was on medication that kept my viral load so low that it is almost impossible or even impossible for me to ever truly have passed this along. So if I did have unprotected sex with someone and they got it, they didn't get it from me. Well, what proof do I have? I have a federal expert. I have an expert witness that testifies in federal trials. That is literally these experts' jobs, okay? They come up, they're like, yeah, I've literally, I did the autopsy on like JFK, the Vatican, the Pope, whatever, and my receipts. And the federal prosecutors respect them like, no, you're an expert in your field. The thing that you can do that would be so amazing is to say, listen, I've looked at his medical charts and I've looked at his blood work. I've looked at his medical charts and I've looked at his blood work. And guess what? The medication he was taking kept these diseases in suppression mode, meaning they were suppressed. This is how Magic Johnson was able to live forever. They keep it in suppression mode. So even though, yes, technically they have the herb, yes, technically they have HIV, if they could say that about anyone, you would want an expert to testify that it kept your viral load so low that it is impossible for you to have infected someone. Now, is that Diddy's strategy? I don't know. Is it a fact that Diddy's team asked for more time from the federal judge because they needed a medical expert to review medical records? That is true. They did ask for that in court. It's in the transcripts. Is it true? Is it true that they could not find a medical expert and they were still, at that time, a couple of weeks ago, they were still looking for medical experts that could cooperate a unique theory that his team had come up with? Yes. Listen, yes, that is 100% true. Now, do we know if Diddy has houses in Virginia? Absolutely. We did not ever let that man touch us. And I don't know firsthand whether. Do we know if Diddy has the herb? No, not for a fact. I've never touched him. I have no access to his medical records. Now, I have to be honest. Do we, upon information and belief, based off of verification through mainstream media, upon information and belief, have this NDA that is signed, a confidential settlement agreement that is signed by a notary and the Clark County Commissioner of Miami-Dade County in Florida? Do we know that it has Sean John's official seal and it has his lawyer's signature too? And Jonathan Oddi, and it is dated in June 9th, I believe, of 2014, which is the exact time that we said that Diddy settled with Jonathan Oddi? Yes. Can we say that after Jonathan Oddi had, upon information and belief, and I'm going to give you all the evidence, that after Jonathan Oddi had, in fact, settled with Diddy, he had negative $1,800 in his bank account the day before and the day after he went on a multi-million-dollar property shopping spree? Absolutely. Can we say that Diddy's team secured a federal expert witness to testify about this type of stuff? Absolutely. Again, the evidence that I found is there. You do with it what you want based upon information and belief. But baby, men lie. Women lie, but confidential settlement. Can we also confirm that when we broke the story, and this is so, you know what, like really made me like so frustrated when you're talking to like crazy people, right? Like I literally was like, am I in an upside down world? I did the evidence of Jonathan Oddi. I did the research. I really thought it would blow up all over YouTube because at the end of the day, use my stuff, just credit me. That's all. Like the same way if I get something from them, I'd be like, yo, they did this really good research. And then that's how it goes. I get it. It's bigger than any of us. Just credit me in the story. But the fact that after I broke the story, about a week later, and this is when I was trying to pick up steam, there were all these weird sites that said Jonathan Oddi had died in a car crash. And I did a video about it, but I went to the sites and shown that all these sites were dummy clone sites. And all these sites, right? It was almost like a government psyop operation. I know it sounds crazy. What else should you say? When you clicked on the links, it would show somebody talking in India or would say he died in a car crash or goodbye. And I was like, yo, Jonathan, and I said it on live because I wanted to show y'all what I found. Jonathan Oddi is clearly not dead, at least not from here. Where is he at? But the more important question is, who would have a vested interest and somebody thinking that Jonathan Oddi is dead. Not me, because I was making, baby, those clicks and views was in there for my Jonathan Oddi coverage. Why would I want that mofo to be gone? Like, wait, what? No, this is the story of the century. Who would want us to believe, at least a casual observer and people that don't click on links, who would want us to believe that Jonathan Oddi is gone? And then I went to his court appearances. And I was like, wait a second, how is it? And people are like, oh my God, he's going to be on court. And I said, no shit, idiot. But there's more to the story. Why is it this man has been going up for court dates? He's completely sane. He's been found sane through an independent psychiatric evaluation. So he doesn't have the insanity. He's not in a loony bin or in the mental health hospital. Why would this man, after almost, at this point, when I first discovered it, it was like after 6 years, now it's going on 8 years, literally keep having this person show up in court, but there's always an excuse. And also the fact that his court case, hear me out. I'm going to put up the lives later. I put up the receipts, but just let me give you a cliff notes. His court case, okay? His court case was taken over by the street gang division. These are the people that take over when somebody is in witness protection in Florida. Why would Jonathan Oddi wasn't representing himself? He actually got one of the best criminal defense attorneys in Florida, proving he had money back then. And on top of that, he keeps going up for court, but it keeps changing. Let's also not forget that when he went in, the biggest thing that he got put into witness protection is when he went into 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗞𝗦 and he shot the place up going bang, 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 bang. Let's also not forget, hold on, let me just take this off the screen. This is distracting me. I keep reading this NDA. Let's also not forget that when he actually did that, okay? Let's not forget that the actual commissioner of the commissioner of Florida, I think her name was Kathleen something. I'm forgetting her title, but she was the secretary, whatever. In Florida, there's a law that every time something happens with the police and there are guns drawn, they have to write a report. That report says who was involved, what happened, and what happened to the person. Were they taken into custody, or they, was it? They actually legally did an investigation of this case when it happened, when Jonathan was in the 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗏, and they closed it out. And they closed it out and had Jonathan Oddi declared deceased. He is still declared deceased in the state of Florida, stemming from that incident. And on top of that, they never went back and changed his classification. So in the state of Florida, he's listed as deceased. And this happened back in 2018 when he went bang, bang, bang all over the 𝗟𝗡𝗏𝗏, okay? 2014 is when he signed the settlement agreement with Diddy. 2012 and 13 is when he was Cassie's and Diddy's little plaything. 2018 is when he went crazy and went bang, bang, bang in a 𝗟𝗡𝗏𝗏, okay? But the whole point of the matter is he's still legally declared deceased by the police commission and Kathleen, the secretary of state, whatever she is of Florida. I'll put the documentation up in a second. But let me just get to the point. The point of the matter is, and this is really interesting, after that, he started making these dummy appearances in court. And for anyone to believe that this man is for real in custody and he's been held for almost 8 years in jail, that goes against the Constitution. It goes against even the legal limits. Even Florida has a law that if somebody, I think, is kept without going in front of trial for more than 4 to 5 years, you must release them. Jonathan Oddi ain't in jail. Jonathan Oddi has been talking to the police. Jonathan Oddi, Cassie and Diddy know exactly who Jonathan Oddi is, okay? Exactly who Jonathan Oddi is. Diddy's team knows exactly who Jonathan Oddi's team is. Again, there's a lot going on. And let's also not talk about Jonathan Oddi, the dancing bear, and even the escort agency that Diddy used in Miami, and the name of the different one in New York. And baby, we broke all of that down. Again, hit that notification. Okay, so let's get into the whole thing. Also, who actually said, listen, Jonathan Oddi said that's why Diddy settled with them. Facing Truth said, I truly believe he is spreading houses in Virginia. I will say this, right? I don't know if Diddy is spreading anything, right? I would say this. I find it hard to believe. Here's the thing. I don't know for a fact that Diddy has houses in Virginia. Would I be surprised if he had houses in Virginia? Absolutely not. You cannot be that hot, because here's the thing. You cannot be that high off your rocker and be practicing safe whatever. On top of that, they found thousands of bottles of baby oil. Thousands of bottles.
Just in case y'all don't know, houses in Virginia. Just take the first letter of each word. Houses. N. V.
Salute, right? But they didn't find one box of Trojan Man. So what are we really talking about? Do you see what I'm saying? And in everybody's story, whether they were paid or not, in everybody's story, nobody talked about anybody using protection. So yeah, Facing Truth said, my grandmother has always said, everyone doesn't tell the same trail. I know that's right, Facing Truth. Thank you so much again. Roland Rosa said, you got the voice. Great job. Thank you. Thank you so much, Roland. I really appreciate that. Again, you guys, I will say this, and this is one thing on my channel. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm not saying I was at those parties or in those rooms. I'm not telling you, obviously, y'all can see, I don't have industry connections, which is why on my channel, I speak truth to power. Baby, I don't care about getting invited to any award show, any event. I don't care about getting invited to any album release, any Hollywood, New York party. I don't care. Baby, my sole goal, I don't care about becoming a celebrity. I don't care. My sole goal is, what I do care about is the story. I do care about investigating. I do care about what is going on, because baby, it is fun. But the deeper I delve, it's also shocking and scary how deep these things go. Baby, when I say what I care about, what I love going through is going down that rabbit hole. And I love taking y'all with me. That is what really, why I wake up and do this stuff. Yes, I am nosy by nature. Okay. I am nosy by nature. And also, y'all know I'm a big victim advocate.
Baby. Me
all
too.
jokes aside, these victims deserve justice. And I don't care. Listen,
Facts.
I'm sure there are monsters in every community. That's great. But when it comes to driving the monsters and vampires out of the village so that the women, children, and men can grow up without like having to do freak offs and like literally crying when they see a bottle of baby oil, baby, I'm gonna start with my community first. So yes, I am gonna focus on the Black community because I am Black and I wanna see the monsters get out of my community. Once I get the monsters out of my community, I can start looking at other communities. If you are Asian, Haitian, Puerto Rican, Tattletale, Latino Tattletale, message me. I'll help drive monsters out wherever I can. But baby, please believe I'm gonna start in the Black community. Because this is the community I live in. Are y'all insane? They're like, literally, all the communities are doing that. Okay, when we find out, we'll get rid of them too. But for right now, baby, we are burning the vampires at the stake. Get those silver bullets and those wooden stakes ready. Somebody grab the rosary. So yes, on top of that, I am a big proponent about anybody that is a survivor of SA. But also, this story, it just has so many twists and turns, and it gets bigger than you can think. You know what I'm saying? Listen, here's the thing. Somebody said that Ali Carter said that they tested everyone's blood and urine for STDs before the parties. Everybody but the host. Exactly. Exactamundo. Listen. Hold on a second. One second, y'all. There's certain things that I can say and not say related to the case. And, I got people watching. Yeah. So, you know what? Let's move on. All of that will come out in the case. All that will come out into the case. Okay. Listen, all of that will come out in the case. Also, I am going to be going live every single day, multiple times a day about the case. Make sure you tune in. There will be multiple uploads. If you're new to my channel, y'all know when I get into the groove, I be uploading 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times a day. Baby, the updates will be there. Okay. Listen, Carol Lee Jones, shout out to you for actually being a survivor. shout out for you for actually being a survivor. Okay, let's get into what Jonathan Oddi's wife actually said, okay? Let's get into what Jonathan Oddi's wife actually said. Let me pull this up for y'all right quick. Okay. So the wife was actually interviewed, and she said some very, very interesting things. Okay, we're gonna get into the rest of Jonathan Oddi's, interrogations in a second. But let me just tell y'all what the wife actually said. Okay, they said really quick before the wife. This is also important. God, there's so much information I have to give y'all, and you know I'm gonna break it down into separate videos. What? I said I love going down a rabbit hole, not for free. Y'all gonna have to give me that click. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is directly from NBC Miami. Since y'all don't want to believe me, when I actually say stuff and my investigation, I'm sure you will believe NBC Miami. They literally, after I broke it, touched on the story and said, alleged Trump Duro gunman Jonathan Oddi, they say alleged because even though we have him on tape, we just showed y'all, he has not been convicted. He has not even stood trial. He is in witness protection. Alleged Trump Duro gunman Jonathan Oddi went from dead broke to property buying spree in 1 month. When a 6-year marriage dissolved in August of 2014, now keep that date in mind. He signed, according to the NDA that we just showed y'all, that has been verified by multiple news outlets. We told y'all the NDA existed. Y'all didn't want to believe the thing, right? They said, according to, what's up, Bonita Howard? Thank you, and good morning to you, Mama, too. Thank you so much for being a tattletale for 14 months. So when it came to this, keep in mind these dates. We're going to come back to them, class. June 9th, 2014, he signed the confidential settlement agreement. You guys all know that whenever you have a settlement agreement, especially if it's big money, you don't just get the money that day. There's a bunch of legal stuff that happens, and you usually get the money within like a few weeks, maybe even a few months of settling. Because you know, there's tax, they move around, you have an agreement on day. It doesn't just happen like day of, okay? So June 9th, 2014, according to the NDA, it showed you he signed off that confidentiality agreement, and that was the first part of the settlement. However, his marriage dissolved in August of that year, so less than 2 months later. Keep that in mind because the wife is really salty about that. You'll hear. They said that the accused Trump national Duro shooter, Jonathan Oddi, claimed to have a net worth of negative $1,800. His account was overdrawn by $1,800. Again, he was a exotic dancer / escort. You know how that is. You live in paycheck to paycheck. It's fine. This is before OnlyFans. OnlyFans made multimillionaires out of people that were SMEX workers. But back then, you really were literally, hold on, y'all. Back then, you really did only have, as many clients as you could service at that time. Do you know what I'm saying? So it capped the money you could make. Anyway, they said Jonathan Oddi was making $2,000 a month this is directly from South Florida NBC News. Jonathan Oddi was making $2,000 a month as a self-employed fitness trainer. He swore in a financial affidavit filed in Miami-Dade Circuit Court that his debts outpaced his assets. So he had tried to file for bankruptcy. That's how we know all this. Again, when I say, baby, I bring court records. I don't got to lie and say I was there. I don't got to lie and say the hand of God came and told me. I'm just telling y'all what I found, right? They said, but less than a month after his divorce from attorney Tonya Troutwine, he launched a buying spree. This is after a month. He launched a buying spree of distressed properties, right? He spent $760,000 for each property. He bought a total of 5 properties over a 2-month period, according to Miami-Dade County property records. Okay, now this is why we're going to get into that. Remember those dates. He got the settlement after his divorce to his wife went through. His wife believes that he structured the settlement, that he got that money after the divorce so she could not have access to it. Damn. The records show that none of the properties were purchased with a mortgage. So this means a man that only made $2,000 a month from being a personal trainer. Yeah, he was Diddy's favorite export, but at the end of the day, this was before OnlyFans. So you were limited by how many people your body could take in a day. Do you know what I'm saying? So anyway, you went and you divorced your wife, who you seem to have a good relationship with. You divorced your wife and then got that settlement, and you went on a buying spree, $765,000 per property, and you paid cash for all of them. Get this. The records show none of the properties were purchased with mortgage, suggesting they were cash purchases. So South Florida NBC News 6 said, so where did a fitness trainer who was worse than flat broke in August 2014 acquire enough cash in September 2014 to start buying properties that were headed for foreclosure? A lawyer for Jonathan Oddi and his ex-wife would not comment beyond reacting to Oddi allegedly drawing police into the lobby of the Trump Tower Resort with gunfire, only to be bang-banged himself by one or more of the 5 responding officers. They're looking into all possibilities and into everything that promoted this event and what occurred during this event. Property records reveal Jonathan Oddi and his now inactive estate firm, Oddi Investment LLC, do not currently own any property in Miami-Dade. But beginning on September 5th, 2014, and ending on October 30th, 2014, he bought 5 properties that were otherwise headed for foreclosure. They range from 3 homestead condos, right, to a Bayshore Drive condo in Miami, and that was a condo that he paid like I don't know, like $750,000 for that, where he apparently lived for the next 2 years. The properties purchased for a total of millions of dollars, and they were transferred from him to his company. Oh, and get this. He then sold them 18 months to 2 years later. So you guys, you have to remember the timeline. He bought them in 2014. He shot up Trump Doral in 2018, right before he decided to go in and shoot up Trump Doral, which it was an ambush for the police. And even, I think in one of my old lives, I paid the actual press conference that the police chief actually said, where he got on there and faced the Miami people and said, we believe that civilians were not his target. We believe that this was an ambush that he set for the police. Why would somebody out the blue set an ambush for the police if they were cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? Hold on really quick.
She gets offended.
Hey, I'm on live. Can I give you a call back? One second. For Diddy just hit a major that's another story. Y'all, the Fed's case for Diddy just hit a major snag. Really major. And it shocks me how, and this is how things go, the greed of others, not even others. I just feel like everybody could have gotten their settlements and their money while respecting the case. The case just hit a major snag. And Diddy's team is jumping all over this. A huge major snag. I'll talk about it in a different video. Let me get through this video. But wow. I don't understand people sometimes. I really don't. Now, here's the thing, right? Jamie, good morning, Jamie. Jamie just texted. Oh, wait. Well, how come I've been receiving your messages? Okay, so Jamie just said, do you think he got a settlement and Diddy still stalked him, threatened and slashed his tires like he did LaTanya, which made Jonathan Oddi go crazy and do the Trump thing for attention? Seems as if even if you get paid off, he still wants to keep a dark cloud over you. Now, here's the thing. Diddy has been accused by a lot of people, even Natanya Rubin. We did a sit-down interview with her about the fact that once he pays you off, he literally tries to harass and stalk you. Now, if you don't believe Natanya Rubin, that is the person that Diddy bang in the face, you might want to believe Cassie. When Cassie first left Diddy, something happened and Cassie was able to either buy or leverage her way out of her contract. She still wanted to do music. And Cassie never did music again, which leads me to think that Diddy tried to blacklist Cassie. But if we look at it, Diddy knew what he did to Cassie. He knew what he did to Cassie, okay? And he still thanked her at MTV Awards, BET Awards. He made videos about her. He made songs about her. He did all this mess to Cassie, and he knew the horrors he went to Cassie. So it makes me believe that Diddy probably does harass and threaten and stalk people. However, Jonathan Oddi in this interview said that he was actually being harassed. I'm going to let y'all listen to that in a second. But first, let's get into what Jonathan Oddi's wife had to say, okay? Because, let's get into what Jonathan Oddi's wife had to say. Because again, remember the way he signed the confidentiality agreement in June of 2014. He divorced his wife in August of 2014, and then he got his settlement after that. They said when a shooter opened fire at Donald Trump's Doral, Miami resort in 2018, he was immediately dismissed as a madman possessed by far-fetched conspiracy theories. This is mainstream media printing this out. I know my haters mad this morning, and I love to see it. Anyway, hold on. Let me do a still shot so they can get that screenshot. Did you get the screenshot? Did you get of me looking crazy? So you can make a video about however everything I said ain't true, even though literally I would start deleting those videos because I know they got y'all views, but do you not feel embarrassed? Do you not feel ashamed that everything I said came out to be more than true? Anyway, and many of the gunman's ramblings remain nonsensical, but one can now be re-examined with fresh scrutiny. Jonathan Oddi said, I had smacks with Cassie and Sean Diddy Combs. Basically, he would and tell me what to do to Cassie. I was like a blank slave. For them, that's what I was, okay? At the time, his comments were dismissed as delusions of a mentally ill maniac. This is Daily Mail. This is New York Times. This is New York Post. Baby, what you want, what you want, what you want. This is them saying this. But we can now confirm that Jonathan Oddi did know Diddy and was guarding a secret so scandalous that the rapper asked him to sign an NDA agreement to protect it. The agreement is dated 2014, 4 years before the Doral shooting and 10 years before Diddy's life came crashing down with a federal indictment for sex trafficking. Jonathan Oddi told police in Doral that he had signed the document in exchange for $5 million. There's more. He said, he's scared I will expose him. My settlement put me in a box. Basically, I couldn't talk because I was going to be sued. They kept following me. He also claimed I turned over tape to Diddy's then lawyer, Mark Geragos, his then and his present lawyer, Mark Geragos. This explains to me why Mark Geragos won't actually make an appearance in court, because maybe you tied to this deeper than we think. The contents of that alleged tape are unknown. Now, Jonathan Oddi's former wife, Tonya Troutwine, exclusively told Daily Mail how he unraveled after that agreement with Diddy, now on trial in Manhattan for a slew of sex crimes. She says, and she is a licensed lawyer, the date of that contract was around the same time as our divorce. I almost feel like he divorced me because he came into all this money and so I wouldn't claim it. But she does say, to be fair, our lives were already going in different paths. I started feeling like a third wheel in someone else's life rather than a wife. They said they had mostly a happy marriage between 2008 and 2014. But Oddi became more involved in the party and corn scene. And his wife says they drifted apart. What began as a job stripping at bachelorette parties turned into a more hardcore career in the adult film industry. His wife believes he met Diddy through work. Although she has never met Sean Diddy, she said it wasn't uncommon for A-list celebs to pick up women and men at the ultra-exclusive Star Island parties in Miami Beach. Soon, the time he would spend with his wife, according to her, became less and less as Jonathan sunk deeper into the party life. It was also around the time that he allegedly started partying with Diddy and Cassie Ventura. Again, this is the Jonathan Oddi that was partying on screen, right? She goes on to say, this is Jonathan Oddi's wife, who is a licensed lawyer. Diddy just has one of those radiating personalities. And I can tell you that Jonathan Oddi really enjoyed the attention, you know? I can tell you that Diddy really enjoyed the attention. You know, Diddy likes to be the king. Johnny would have played into that perfectly. I can see where they might have started off as a friendship because Johnny would have made him feel like a king. After she found out Johnny was having an affair with one of his co-stars, right? She said she decided it was time to get out the marriage. By August 2014, they had filed for divorce, but still remained amicable with each other. Did she know that she could have sued him? Because that means if Diddy gave Jonathan the hurt, that means that she got the hurt too. She said he kept on insisting that we signed the divorce paperwork, which I thought was very odd how he wanted to get things done so quickly. It was only later that I found out that he had signed this agreement with Diddy. And the divorce documents, Jonathan claimed he was making $2,000 a month as a fitness trainer, and he claimed that he owed the bank $1,800 in overdraft fees. But less than a month after filing, Jonathan went on a property buying spree and bought up more than 5 properties over 2 months at $765,000 each. The records indicate none of the properties were purchased with a mortgage, and it makes me think he paid all cash. They said the spending spree lasted from September 5th to October 30th. The spending spree coincides when he claims he received his NDA windfall from Diddy. Okay? Again, it all came to an abrupt end after he stormed into the Trump's National Doral Golf Club. Investigators said Audi carried an American flag into the lobby of the Miami Golf Resort and shouted about the president before allegedly banging at officers who shot him in the legs and arrested him. The Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office filed charges of attempted murking of law enforcement officers, armed burglary, and armed grand theft. They reached out to Jonathan's attorney. Jonathan's attorney said no comment. His wife pointed out the timing of her former husband's mental breakdown just months before Ventura finally ended her decade on and off again relationship with Diddy. She said, this is the wife speaking. She says, and this is in a major publication, I don't think it's a coincidence. So if any of this is true, that P. Diddy abused Cassie or was being aggressive, Johnny definitely would have softened the situation and wouldn't have tolerated seeing a woman be abused. Seeing a woman be abused. He would have tried to help the situation and not make Cassie feel bad about it. Now, she says she has spoken to Oddi since his arrest and believes that he had a mental breakdown before he went to the Doral golf course. She said Jonathan was also surprised his interrogation video with the police has gone viral in the wake of the Diddy downfall. She says, I think he's lost his mind for sure. I think he did have some issues, and at that point he was struggling. A lot of people are able to hide mental health issues. Let's just say he worked out his body more than what was going on inside of his brain. Yeah. So there we have it, y'all. There is confirmation that chef's kiss. You guys have been with us since the beginning. We've actually broke this down since the beginning. This is 2.5 years in the making of deep investigation that has now been confirmed by mainstream media access. And baby, when I tell you that I have even more information that I have not been able to say, lest I would literally in any way, shape, or form sabotage the investigation. That's one thing about me, baby. I'm never going to sabotage any investigation. Whether that means that Diddy goes in as free or whether he's in jail. But let's be real. I think Diddy. But I will say one thing. The investigation just hit, not even an investigation, the court case just hit a major snag. I'm going to make a video about it and see if I can talk about it. But also, Bronco the boss said, loving this. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Bronco. Pay the cost to be the boss. Also, what else can I tell you really quick about Jonathan Oddi? I have so many lives and videos that I can start like regurgitating them. I'm going to start doing intros to explain why they're relevant. But I am telling you this. Keep an eye on this Jonathan Oddi space. Keep an eye on how Jonathan Oddi's story comes out in Diddy's story. And keep an eye that even if asked about it, I am willing to bet that Cassie will also confirm everything about Jonathan Oddi. This guy is legit. And now that mainstream media papers are picking up on it, again, If that was Jonathan Oddi, I believe, is in witness protection. It is unconstitutional, illegal, and even under habeas corpus laws from Florida, if someone is in jail and never stands trial within 5 years, you must set them free. The fact that every 2 months there is another court appearance where he doesn't show up 90% of the time, and if he does show up, it's supposed to be on video conference, but then that's pushed to the side. You guys, I'm on this Jonathan Oddi case. I'll let you know what's going on with it. All I can honestly say is, yeah, keep your eye on this story. I'm going to follow it too, because there is more. And keep Jonathan in mind as this trial comes up. Remember how they said that they were going all the way back to 2011? Yeah, that's around the time Jonathan Oddi, they expanded it. That's around the time that Jonathan Oddi actually came up. Again, listen, what else can I tell you about this?
Somebody talking to the feds, we know that much.
What else can I tell?
Somebody talking.
Who else can I tell you about?
Don't know who it is, but somebody talking.
Y'all, let me queue up this stuff. I'm going to make a bunch of other videos. I want to chase this thing about what's going on with the Diddy trial and bring it to y'all. Make sure you turn your notifications on. I'm going to be posting a lot today. Expect 9 videos. I'll keep them all under 5-8 minutes so you can get the information quick. And if I can, I'll go live later on tonight to talk about it. All right? I will talk to you soon. Also, yes, I did disclose this first. I did. I will say one thing. Listen, the feds did have who said that? Heavy Bear said the feds better have an airtight case. The feds did have an airtight case. But like with witnesses, especially where there is Diddy's money and influences around, a lot of things change and a lot of things happening. Baby, there's so much going on and I want to talk about it, right? But let me go see what I can say. But a lot of things, a lot of things change. A lot of things change. Anyway, you guys, listen, let me get out of here. I'll talk to you lots later. There's going to be another video up in 20 minutes. Put your notifications on, baby. We are back. It's going to be a 9.
My favorite, Uncle Mike's favorite YouTuber. Hands down, she is my favorite, man. 𝗟𝗡𝗏𝗡𝗚 is my favorite YouTuber. If you want to get some real information, baby, without no bull, yeah. And you want to be, it's interesting. It's interesting the way she tells the story. She keeps you hype. She comes with receipts. She comes with facts. I don't know where she getting the information from, but it's solid. Solid as a rock. She's already putting up more stuff, man. Golly, he might not make it. 50 Cent shares Diddy's conditions as he claps source. Oh my God, it's too much information. I'm done for the day. That's it. I'm burnt out, man. Hey, this is an hour long. Let me know if you're an ender. Shout out if you're an ender. 𝗟𝗡𝗏𝗡𝗚. Y'all go check her channel out and all that good stuff, man. We need to do something together, Tisha. I really like your stuff and your style, and I think a lot of people like what you're doing, and I think that you do great work, and I think that more people need to let other people know how great you are, man. I think the more you realize how great you are, the more you can get into a zone and do just you. You know what I'm saying? And we really appreciate that. Hey, y'all take it light, take it slow. Don't forget, man, shout out, support the channel, become a Patreon, because we're here to help people. Take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.